What if I told you that being poor doesn't just mean having less money? What if the real cost of being poor is something much bigger? Something that quietly steals your time, your opportunities, your peace of mind, and even your future. Most people think poverty is simply a lack of money, but that's not the whole story. Because when you're struggling financially, every decision becomes more expensive. And the scary part? Most people don't even realize it's happening. Imagine two people. One has money in the bank, the other is living paycheck to paycheck. Both face the exact same problem. Their car suddenly breaks down. The first person pays for the repair and moves on with their day. Annoying? Yes. Life-changing? No. The second person doesn't have the cash. Now they need a loan, or a credit card, or maybe they miss work because they can't get there. What started as a simple repair suddenly becomes a chain reaction, and that's the hidden cost nobody talks about. When you don't have money, small problems become expensive problems. And expensive problems often become long-term problems. This is why being poor is often more expensive than being financially comfortable. Think about that for a moment. The people with the least money often end up paying the most. Not because they're careless, not because they're lazy, but because they have fewer options. And in finance, options are incredibly valuable. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine you need new tires for your car. A financially secure person can buy quality tires that last for years. A struggling person may only be able to afford the cheapest option available. 6 months later, those cheap tires need replacing again. The person who spent less today may actually spend more over time. This happens everywhere. Cheap products, high-interest debt, late fees, overdraft fees, emergency borrowing, last-minute decisions. The lack of money often creates even more expenses, and this creates a cycle that is difficult to escape. But the financial cost is only part of the story. There's another cost that many people never talk about, and honestly, it may be even more damaging than the money itself: the cost of stress. Imagine checking your bank account before every purchase, worrying every time your phone rings because it might be a bill collector. Losing sleep because one unexpected expense could throw your entire month into chaos. That's exhausting. And the problem is that financial stress doesn't stay inside your wallet. It follows you everywhere. It follows you to work. It follows you home. It affects your focus, your relationships, your health, your confidence. And over time, constant financial pressure changes the way people think. Instead of planning for 5 years from now, they're forced to focus on surviving until next week. And that's not because they lack ambition. It's because survival demands immediate attention. When someone is worried about keeping the lights on, it's hard to think about retirement. When someone is worried about next month's rent, it's hard to think about investing. This is one of the most misunderstood realities of financial struggle. People often assume poor financial decisions come from poor discipline, but many times they come from constant pressure. Pressure changes behavior. Pressure changes priorities. Pressure changes decisions. And if you've ever been in a difficult financial situation, you know exactly what that feels like. But here's where things get interesting, because understanding the hidden cost of being poor is not about blaming anyone. It's about recognizing the system that keeps many people trapped. And once you understand that system, you can start finding ways to break out of it, because there is a path forward. It may not be fast, it may not be easy, but it absolutely exists. And the first step is understanding the hidden cost that most people never see. The next cost may be the most dangerous of them all, because it steals something you can never get back: time. So far, we've talked about the financial cost of being poor. We've talked about the stress, the emergencies, the constant pressure. But now we need to talk about something even more important. Because this hidden cost doesn't just take money. It takes opportunities. And opportunities can change the entire direction of a person's life. Think about two people who are offered the same opportunity. Maybe it's a course that could help them get a better job. Maybe it's a certification. Maybe it's starting a small business. Maybe it's moving to a city with better opportunities. The first person has savings. The second person is already struggling to cover monthly expenses. Who has more freedom to take the risk? Who has more flexibility? Who has more options? The answer is obvious, and that's the hidden advantage that financial stability creates. It doesn't just provide comfort, it provides choices. Many people think wealth is about buying expensive things, but in reality, wealth is often about having options. The option to leave a toxic job, the option to handle emergencies, the option to learn new skills, the option to take opportunities when they appear. And when money is constantly tight, many of those opportunities disappear before they can even be considered. That's why poverty often creates a cycle, not because people lack potential, but because they're forced to spend so much energy solving today's problems that they have little left to invest in tomorrow. And here's something that rarely gets discussed: the cost of lost time. Imagine someone carrying a heavy backpack every single day. Now imagine another person walking the same path without that weight. Who reaches the destination faster? Financial stress works the same way. When you're constantly worried about bills, debt, emergencies, and survival, you're carrying an invisible weight that affects every decision. The effort required just to stay afloat becomes enormous, and while others are planning, investing, learning, and growing, many struggling people are simply trying to make it through the month. That's why financial progress often looks unfair, because people aren't starting from the same position. Some people begin the race with savings, support, education, and opportunities. Others begin with debt, pressure, and uncertainty. Understanding this isn't about making excuses. It's about seeing reality clearly, because once you understand the problem, you can start working on the solution. And this is where the video becomes important, because I don't want you to leave thinking this situation is hopeless. It's not. In fact, some of the most financially successful people started with very little, but they learned a few lessons that changed everything. Solution number 1. Focus on building a small emergency fund. Many people think they need thousands of dollars saved immediately. You don't. Start small. Even a small emergency fund can prevent a minor problem from becoming a financial disaster. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is creating breathing room, because every dollar saved increases your options, and options create freedom. Solution number 2. Invest in skills before luxuries. One of the highest return investments is often not a stock. It's yourself. Learning a valuable skill, improving communication, developing expertise, earning certifications, increasing your earning potential. Many people spend money trying to look successful. The smarter move is spending money becoming more valuable, because skills can generate income for years. Solution number 3. Think long-term, even when life feels short-term. This is difficult, especially when money is tight. But even small long-term decisions matter. A little saved, a little invested, a little learning each week. These things may not change your life tomorrow, but they can completely change your life 5 years from now. And that's how real financial transformation usually happens. Not through one lucky break, not through a secret trick, not through a miracle, but through consistent progress. Small improvements repeated over time. Now let's return to the question we started with. What is the hidden cost of being poor? It's not just the lack of money. It's the extra fees, the extra stress, the lost opportunities, the lost time, the constant pressure, the difficult choices, the invisible weight that many people carry every day. But here's the part I hope you remember most. Your current financial situation does not automatically determine your financial future. It may influence your starting point, but it does not have to determine your destination. Because financial freedom isn't built overnight. It's built one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one lesson at a time, one improvement at a time. And every person who has ever improved their financial life started exactly the same way, by taking the first step. So here's the question I want you to think about after this video ends. What's one small financial decision you